2 weeks ago, I asked you, what were the top 5 Bleed Immune champions in Marvel Contest of Champions? We had so many suggestions of champions, it was great to see the data and collect it all together in a tally-based system. Why do I approve the tally-based system? Well, I find it extends out from doing things like polls, because you could do a poll with about 100 different champions on them, and that wouldn't really work unless there was a poll for it. So it's easier for people to have an expression, talk about stuff, and as well like put these different various champions. We could create a lovely tally system and get that really kind of nice top 5. Now it's really interesting and fun to look at the tally system as well as where people were with their discussions on what champions are good that are Bleed Immune champions. I think one of the big things that came up was interactions with things like Suicide Masteries, especially when it comes to things like Double Edge and to another degree Liquid Courage, depending if you want more of a poison immune based interaction. But there are things for that, especially when it comes to defense elements, hence why we call it Suicide Masteries, and how that interacts between a Bleed Immune champion, the damage they can do, the recoiling, but the rotation around the SP3. It's one of the reasons that Bleed Immune champions are very, very popular, especially when it comes to content interaction, whether or not it's Act 7, whether or not it's Map 8, Map 7, different types of AQ, but also some node interactions as well. Biohazard, for example. So let's see what the top 5 were as by voted by the people that came to that particular community post. And number 5 in the list is DragonMan. DragonMan was voted by 8 people and as well is a great champion for lots of damage, aggression, SP3 rotations, great power building. So that combat power rate is very high. He's got poison immunity, which makes him really great and compatible for Suicide Masteries. So yeah, one like key champion, especially very popular this month for a Paragon. I think it was Paragon Eternity of Pain type of objective, I want to say. I'm not Paragon, so I wouldn't know, but I think that was the case. Now, holding the joint 4th place is Magneto and Black Widow Clairvoyant. The great thing about both of these champions is they got equal amounts of voted for as 11. And I kind of felt like I can't really separate all these out so much, but I do agree with them being kind of equal 4th in that kind of confine. They both do different things, but essentially you have bleed, immunity, more so with Black Widow Clairvoyant. Red Magneto has a, I think, reduction or kind of like more of an interaction, and it's great because both of them do different things. Black Widow Clairvoyant is more dealing with champions that are building buffs, punishing the buffs, power control, changing between different types of debuff throwing, whether it's Incinerate, Poisons, or Bleeds itself. But then you've got Magneto, on the other hand, that does more of a, well, dealing with hashtag metal champions. And that's one of the great things about Magneto. As well as a lot of strengths, as well as interacting with the Horseman synergy, he has that great ability to just suppress anything that's a hashtag metal-based champion, building prowess, which interacts with a lot of nodes and other things. And yeah, it's just both are highly used within this community. And yeah, the results don't disappoint because we have a third place for a champion like Cosmic Ghost Rider. Cosmic Ghost Rider is pretty darn impressive of a champion. It's still something that I'm debating whether or not I'm going to put up to being a rank 4 champion, or I'm just going to leave as he is and focus more on my King Groot. I'm still making that decision. We've got Act 8.1 probably released in the next couple of months, so decisions will be decisions. I'm still one more off of being Paragon, one more kind of like rank 4 champion to make. So I've got time to make decisions about what I'm going to use. But again, it goes back to Suicide Mastery interaction. Maybe it's a case if you're doing SP3 rotations with the likes of Cosmic Ghost Rider, it can be very, very valuable for your team on that damage rotation. But he is a great champion in his own right, getting things like aptitude, boosting up those fury buffs and precision and all those lovely things, and armor as well, which you can get from this champion. A lot of things are open for him. An SP1 rotation will do Incinerates, as well as a little bit of vigilance, which can take on champions that have the miss in their mechanic, and as well as so much more. But it's just an amazing damage dealer that Cosmic Ghost Rider is for your roster. Here's where a slight conundrum happens in that, like, what fields a number 2 position? And that's just the thing. Lots of people putting the same amount of stuff, and it's like, it's crazy to see Warlock, a Mega Sentinel, a Mega Red, and Apocalypse, all 4 of those hitting up the number 2 slot for this. So what stands all those champions out? And again, it just goes back to things like Suicide Mastery interaction being incredibly more potent, and that's why players love using the champions, but they have their own little abilities in their own right. For me personally, of that particular list, Warlock and Apocalypse are my 2 main favourite champions. Warlock in particular, I've done like so much content on. Whether or not I talk about the idea of like the degeneration improvements from having a 200 signature, and as well the way that power control can be done with this champion, the suppressing of things like healing on enemies, but as well the being immune to bleed, poison, cold snap, and frostbite does mean this champion can be rotated into a roster in a very convenient way. Whether or not you're going to take on the likes of Iceman, whether or not you're going to be taking on the likes of any champion, any kind of node that will give you anything like Freezer Burn, well, apart from the Incinerate factor to Freezer Burn, but really with that, if there's some kind of interaction, which in Act 7, I believe there's Freezer Burn, but also something that interacts with superiority, which this champion excels at. I used Warlock extensively through Act 7 and is a great champion for even things like Act 6 as well. Apocalypse also has been a great new addition to the roster of mine, and it will be for any player. Grandmaster Gauntlet last year was not possible without this guy, and having the interaction against fight to fight with bleed immunity, with concussion immunity, or disorient immunity, I should be more kind of correct on that. Disorient immunity, or we can shrug it off. Many with this is the bleed shrugging off, and once you've done it in one fight, it can take you into others. The other side of things is with this champion, he will do great damage with SP3 rotations if you are doing Suicide Masteries, but I would say it's more of a case of unlocking the Horseman synergy for other champions that were in the list but not mentioned, like Cable, Gambit, and Storm, I want to say. There's some interactions there with bleed suppression and bleed kind of like immunity. So yeah, great champion, great damage as well, those debuffs, and yeah. That evade kind of like evade suppression interaction, I should say. And of course, this leads us with the number 1 champion that was mentioned, just one by one, which is incredible. But it is an incredible champion. Whether or not you want a champion that has like amazing amount of immunities, this is a good test of Kabam doing a buff to a champion right, and that Colossus was changed and improved to be better. Nowadays, it is kind of like very much up in the air whether or not his kind of like damage crits, his crits actually come up now and again, and they're kind of like not as potent. But I don't know. Like, that's kind of a tinfoil hat job. If we go a little bit more to this, and this is another great thing, whenever one of this awakened ability, whenever one of Colossus' immunities protects him from an effect, he has a 52% chance to gain a Fury armor up buff lasting 15 seconds. Colossus has a 45% chance to convert an expiring armor buff into a permanent one. Really great if you got certain synergy, which means the more armor buffs you have, the more damage you do. I can't remember if this is the one that's the synergy with Emma Frost or it's Unstoppable Colossus. One of the two. But that's great. That's when immunities come into play, and as well with Suicide Masteries as well, doing, I don't know, a parry heavy and then going into an SP3 if you've got Suicide Masteries can give some good damage. Or we're looking at non-suicides and doing a parry heavy SP2, and as well kind of building by that means. It's a great champion, a lot of fun, and I really wish that I used him a lot more in Act 7, but I don't know if a lot of content really kind of benefited him being there. However, though, having again Incinerate immunity, frostbite effects, and cold snap effects immunity does mean he goes a bit further to be really helpful to a roster. So yeah, lots of great things about this champion, and I can't say anything more positive than I have. It's a great champion, and I know that a lot of people like him. I think a lot of people still use him, but definitely, 2 years ago, people were just using him all the time because he was spot on. And he's still spot on now. It's just the case like a lot of people will not use him quite so much. But there we go. That has been the top 5 best Bleed Immune champions. That has been the video. Thanks very much everybody getting involved. Look out for other community posts which will be coming soon, which will detail a new top 5. There's one already out at the moment, which is the most wanted. but I'm going to leave that a week. Just to kind of like gain a little bit of kind of like more people putting some more stuff, and then we'll see how the voting for that goes. And I think it's going to be a really good one, deep dive. Thanks for watching and supporting the content. Make sure as well to check out some other content located on screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video, whatever it may cover. Chatty byes.